Ashe, and welcome to another special episode of our Mandatory Mental Liberation Message series, written and produced by our esteemed elder Baba Jelani Bumani Dembe, the brilliant founder of Majestic Mind Matters University. I'm your royal narrator, Queen Magical Melanin, for this new episode. The necessity of the Mandatory Mental Liberation series at Majestic Mind Matters University lies in our focus on serving our melanin-rich culture nation. By addressing the importance of knowledge of self to produce greater self-awareness and advocating for our mental liberation, especially for our precious melanin-rich culture children, our messages aim to combat the enduring effects of generational mental enslavement stemming from the historical trauma of the chattel enslavement of the ancestors. Our initiative seeks to empower us to break free from these harmful and unfavorable legacies and cultivate a deep-rooted sense of self-identity and unwavering resilience. In a world where words carry weight, these terms hold a history of oppression and discrimination. Our melanin-rich culture nation has not given up on the fight for liberation. We know that terms like black or brown people, people of color, perpetuate stereotypes and homogenize our melanin-rich culture people. In this message, it will only be used to maintain clarity for those who are not yet up to our melanin-rich culture standards. By embracing indigenous terms like Alkebulan, this name means mother of mankind, in various African languages such as Akuyu, Swahili, and Kemet, referring to ancient Egypt, and rejecting the terms Africa or African, these oppressive terms, which are unknown to many, we are reclaiming our melanin-rich culture narratives and asserting our royal cultural pride. Our melanin-rich culture nation uses terms like chattel enslavement instead of slavery, and the enslavers or slavers rather than masters or slave owners, to highlight the brutal and dehumanizing nature of historical and systemic oppression. The term chattel enslavement emphasizes the objectification of the ancestors as property, rather than acknowledging them as humans. Referring to the oppressors as the enslavers or slavers instead of masters or slave owners shifts the focus to the injustice and violence perpetrated by those in power. These terms accurately reflect the systemic exploitation and inhumanity faced by our melanin-rich culture communities throughout history, challenging traditional narratives that downplay the severity of these atrocities. Knowing the power of language in shaping global societal perceptions and challenging systemic racism is our first step to true liberation. In this message, the term African American or Black may be used in order to convey understanding regarding the mindset of that time period. Many of our messages will shed light on our melanin-rich culture civilization individuals who have helped gain more ground towards our global unity. Each moment you spend with us is a gift, a chance to grow, to learn, to be inspired. So stay with us till the end, where the real magic happens. Now, let's get started with this very special melanin-rich culture message titled Reading to Connect, Strengthening Melanin-Rich Culture Family Bonds. As members of a melanin-rich culture civilization, we understand the importance of honoring our ancestors and their resilience during the dark times of chattel enslavement. It is crucial for us to pass on this knowledge and history to our future generations so they can appreciate the struggles and triumphs of our people. One powerful way to do this is by encouraging our melanin-rich children to read and engaging in that process with them. Reading is a fundamental tool for education and empowerment, allowing us to gain knowledge, expand our perspectives, and develop critical thinking skills. By instilling a love for reading in our children from a young age, we are equipping them with the tools they need to navigate the complexities of the world and to understand our shared history. Through reading together with our children, we are not only fostering a love for books and learning, but we are also strengthening our bonds with them. As we explore books that delve into our cultural heritage and the stories of our ancestors, we are sharing a valuable connection that transcends generations. This shared experience creates a sense of unity and belonging, reinforcing the importance of our culture and history in shaping who we are today. Furthermore, by reading with and to our melanin-rich children, we are providing them with representation and validation of their identities. In a world that often marginalizes and erases the voices of people of color, it is crucial for our children to see themselves reflected in the stories they read. By including diverse books that celebrate our melanin-rich culture and history, we are affirming the value and beauty of our identity, instilling a sense of pride and self-confidence in our children. Reading also serves as a powerful tool for healing and resilience, especially in the face of the intergenerational trauma that stems from chattel enslavement. By delving into books that explore the experiences of our ancestors and the struggles they endured, we are acknowledging and honoring their suffering, while also finding strength and inspiration in their resilience. Through these stories, we are able to find solace and healing as we come to terms with our history and strive to create a better future for ourselves and our children. In our joint efforts to unify globally and uplift our melanin-rich culture civilization, the simple act of reading with our children can have a profound impact. By instilling a love for reading and learning in our children, we are equipping them with the tools they need to succeed in life, while also fostering a sense of pride and connection to our shared heritage. Through these shared experiences, we are fostering a sense of unity and empowerment within our community as we work together to honor our ancestors and create a brighter future for generations to come. Encouraging our melanin-rich children to read by reading with and to them is not just about literacy or education. It is about fostering a deep connection to our culture, history, and identity. By sharing stories that celebrate our heritage and honor the sacrifices of our ancestors, we are instilling a sense of pride, resilience, and unity in our children. As we continue to uplift and empower our community, let us remember the power of reading as a tool for healing, education, and unity as we work together to create a brighter future for all. As members of a melanin-rich culture civilization, we understand the importance of honoring our ancestors and the struggles they faced, particularly the horrors of chattel enslavement. We recognize that these traumas have had a lasting impact on our communities, but we also understand the resilience and strength that have been passed down through the generations. It is this history that binds us together and motivates us to strive for unity on a global scale. In our joint efforts to unify globally, we must first acknowledge and confront the legacy of chattel enslavement. The transatlantic slave trade brutally ripped our ancestors from their homes, families, and cultures, treating them as property to be bought, sold, and exploited. The enduring effects of this dehumanizing system are still felt today, as systemic racism and discrimination continue to plague our communities. By honoring our ancestors and their sacrifices, we affirm our connection to them and the struggles they endured. We draw strength from their resilience and courage, knowing that they faced unimaginable hardships with dignity and grace. Their spirits live on in us, guiding us as we navigate the challenges of the present and work towards a better future for ourselves and our descendants. Unity is the key to overcoming the divisions and injustices that have plagued our communities for generations. By coming together as a global collective, we can amplify our voices and work towards enacting meaningful change. We must recognize that our struggles are interconnected, and that by standing in solidarity with each other, we can create a more just and equitable world for all. In our efforts to unify globally, we must prioritize the healing and empowerment of our communities. This means addressing the trauma of chattel enslavement and its lasting effects, while also celebrating the beauty and resilience of our cultures. We must create spaces that affirm and uplift us, where we can come together to share our stories, support each other, and celebrate our shared history and heritage. Our joint efforts to unify globally must also be rooted in a deep sense of respect for our ancestors and the sacrifices they made. We must never forget the horrors they faced, nor the strength and resilience they exhibited in the face of unimaginable adversity. By honoring their memory and learning from their experiences, we can ensure that their legacy lives on in us and in future generations. As we work towards unity on a global scale, we must also recognize the power of our melanin-rich culture civilization. We come from diverse backgrounds and experiences, each with our own unique perspectives and contributions to offer. By embracing our differences and celebrating our shared heritage, we can create a truly inclusive and empowering space for all members of our community. Our joint efforts to unify globally are guided by a deep sense of respect for our ancestors and the struggles they faced. By honoring their memory and learning from their experiences, we can create a more just and equitable world for all. We must come together as a global collective, drawing strength from our shared history and heritage as we work towards a brighter future for ourselves and our descendants. Together, we can overcome the divisions and injustices that have kept us apart and build a more inclusive and empowering world for us as well. As members of a melanin-rich culture civilization, we stand united in our efforts to honor the ancestors who endured the horrors of chattel enslavement. Their resilience and strength in the face of unimaginable suffering serve as a beacon of hope and inspiration for us as we strive to overcome the challenges of our own time. It is important for us to remember and acknowledge the sacrifices made by our ancestors in order to ensure that their legacy is not forgotten. By recognizing the injustices they faced and the struggles they overcame, we can better appreciate the resilience and courage that have been passed down to us through generations. Our joint efforts to unify globally are fueled by a deep sense of connection to our shared history and heritage. We understand that the legacy of chattel enslavement has had a lasting impact on our communities, shaping our identities and experiences in profound ways. By coming together as a collective, we can draw strength from our shared past and build a more inclusive and empowering future for ourselves and our descendants. In order to honor our ancestors and the sacrifices they made, we must actively engage with our history and pass on this knowledge to future generations. One powerful way to do this is through education, specifically by encouraging our melanin-rich children to read and learn about our heritage. By engaging in this process with them, we can help cultivate a sense of pride and appreciation for our culture and history. Through reading and learning about the struggles of our ancestors, we can gain a deeper understanding of the challenges they faced and the strength they possessed. This knowledge can inspire us to continue their legacy of resilience and perseverance as we work towards a more just and equitable world for all. Our global unity is rooted in a shared commitment to honoring the ancestors who paved the way for us. By acknowledging the struggles of the past and learning from the experiences of those who came before us, we can build a more inclusive and compassionate world for future generations. As we reflect on the horrors of chattel enslavement, we must also recognize the resilience and resistance of our ancestors. Despite the brutality and dehumanization they endured, they never lost hope or faith in a better future. Their spirit lives on in us, fueling our determination to create a world where all people are treated with dignity and respect. It is through our joint efforts to unify globally that we can honor the sacrifices of our ancestors and build a better future for ourselves and our descendants. By working together to overcome the divisions and injustices that have plagued our communities, we can create a world where all people are valued and empowered. In conclusion, as members of a melanin-rich culture civilization, we are committed to honoring our ancestors and the struggles they faced during chattel enslavement. By coming together as a global collective, we can draw strength from our shared history and build a more just and equitable world for all. Through education, awareness, and unity, we can continue the legacy of resilience and resistance that has been passed down to us. Our ancestors' sacrifices will never be forgotten, and their spirit will continue to guide us as we work towards a brighter future for ourselves and future generations. I'm your royal narrator, Queen Magical Melanin. We trust that this very special message has expanded your understanding through the insights shared by our highly esteemed producer, Elder Baba Jelani Bamani Dembe, founder of Majestic Mind Matters University, in our Mandatory Mental Liberation Series special message. Remember this, it is essential to honor the ancestors. We have a unique connection to the ancestors. They endured many unwarranted struggles, preserved our melanin-rich culture, and passed down invaluable wisdom through many generations. By honoring the ancestors, we pay honorable tribute to our roots and draw great strength and much-needed inspiration from the unwavering resilience and royal legacy that has paved the way for our present and future generations. Ancestral reverence is a powerful way for us to continually uphold our own melanin-rich identity, heritage, and cultural legacy. Here is an ancient Alkebulan proverb to keep in mind. If you think you are too small to make a difference, you have not spent the night with a mosquito. Remember this as well, whenever you are in the presence of anyone, saying, "They don't see color," it actually means, "They don't see you." We acknowledge and honor the indigenous name of our glorious continent as Alkebulan, This name means Mother of Mankind in various African languages such as Akuyu, Swahili, and Kemet, referring to ancient Egypt and rejecting the terms Africa or African. As royal members of our melanin-rich culture nation, we must strive for knowledge of self for greater personal awareness. Always treat yourself kindly and seek to live a totally awesome and gloriously fulfilling melanin-rich culture life. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. So, like, subscribe to stay updated, and share this very special melanin-rich culture link with everyone that you care about and that really cares about you and all of yours as well. And thank you for listening to this enchanting special message titled Reading to Connect, Strengthening Melanin-Rich Culture Family Bonds. Stay woke. Ashe.